Hey, this is Jeffrey Brown from Market for Yourself podcast, and today's guest is Pamela. Pamela, introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me. So I am a mental health coach and I'm from Canada and I teach people how to speak up about their mental health. Um, and yeah, my mission is to help end the stigma of mental health worldwide. So it's a big mission, but yeah, starting with individuals and yeah.
So tell me, Pam, how did you get involved with the mental health industry? How did that happen for you?
Sure. So I've dealt with mental health, I would say, my whole life. My family has mental health. Um, well, yeah, I have an uncle who has mental health um, illness, schizophrenia. So he's been dealing with that. And as my mom has been his caregiver um, for many, many years, so I've seen her go through, a lot with that as well. So yeah, it impacts the whole family. So yeah, I've grown up with it. And then later on, I got into social work. So I was working as a youth and family counselor. And yeah, so I have, yeah, the personal and the professional side of it that, yeah,
Okay.
has inspired me.
And so you kind of like understood that family had some issues with mental health, became a social worker, sort of a mental health social worker, and you said, okay, I need to do more, and I want to create this vision for myself and for the world. So tell us a little bit about what type of person that you actually can help. What would that look like?
Sure. So it would be anyone who is afraid to speak up about mental health. Um, that maybe be someone who's been silent about it for a long time. Maybe they're not sure how to communicate, or maybe they've tried to in the past, but no one's really listened. Because there is such a stigma with mental health. A lot of people do suffer with it alone. And so, yeah, I want to encourage people, that there is a safe community, which is what I'm growing, that, that we can get through it together. And yeah, I want to help people to be able to start on their healing journey.
So the stigma that let's talk about that. So what I don't know much about mental health issues, but what does that stigma look like? What is typically happens if a person is dealing with it? What does that look like for them?
Yeah. So a lot of people are afraid of judgment. People maybe, so for myself, I'm from a small town. And so, people know who you are. They know, they see you around town. And once they know that you maybe have a mental health issue, they might, look at you differently. And so a lot of people are afraid to say something. Or even at work, you might be afraid to say, I'm struggling at work. Um, it's just it's so broad, the stigma, and it's everywhere. It's in every community. Um, so yeah, we really need more people spreading the message that it's okay to not be okay. There's another book that's titled that, actually. It's okay to not be okay. But my book is called Speaking Up About a Mental Health Crisis, because yeah, it's a global issue. It's yeah.
So here's the deal with that. I think what kind of suggestions would you have for somebody who's watching this about what they could possibly say, what they could possibly do to overcome that fear?
Yeah. So, so for myself, I've had mental health issues myself, and I felt what it was like, um, for myself, not to be able to say how I was really doing or really feeling. Um, And so, yeah, I know that personal side of it too. So what I would say for people to be able to start doing that is just, find one person that you feel safe with and, just, yeah, start by telling them. You don't have to tell everybody, but start to, use your voice and tell someone how you're really doing. Because a lot of times, people will say, "How are you?" And we'll just say, "I'm good. I'm fine." Right? Um, yeah, but we don't know the personal stories of everybody we meet, and everybody that I know is going through something, and we can all relate to mental health. So yeah, some people might judge, and that's okay, but some people really do want to listen.
Yeah, I think when you said that, I started laughing because, anytime somebody asks me or something, well, how you doing? The automatic response is, great, I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah,
It's just something that rolls off the tongue just because it's a natural habit to say that. Um,
exactly.
it's probably not natural for somebody to say, oh, you know what? I'm not having such a great day. This is what's going on in my life. And it's not, they probably
Yeah,
won't do that. Um,
no,
but like you said before, just to get them to talk about it with one person that they feel safe with. Okay, so so after when they do that, how does that make them feel that they're able to, or how did it make you feel that you were able to talk to at least one person about your real feelings? What was the outcome of that conversation?
yeah, it's a like a weight gets lifted off your shoulders. Once you feel like comfortable with somebody, and they make you feel that safety, um, yeah, it's like, I don't know, like the stress of it. You're releasing, you're starting to release, and that's what the speaking up, in your voice. You have to use your voice to release that. Um, yeah, and so you start to build back your confidence. You start to say, okay, you know what? I do have these issues, but it's okay. I can now I can, start to figure out ways that I can help myself and ways that it can get better. So and still until you do start talking about it, it's a you're not gonna it's always going to be with you, that that heaviness, right? So yeah, we want people to talk about it, and how do we find those people? Because sometimes, you don't know who it is. You don't know, um because like we said, we put on this front, right? Like, I'm good. But until you keep asking, until, are you sure? Are you sure you're okay? You know? Yeah.
So what does that feel? I know a lot of people say that what goes on in your mind, it's happening in your body. So
Yes.
when you're able to do like talk about it, get more confidence, feel better about yourself, how did that physically affect your body? Have you seen any difference in your body physically when you were able to talk to anybody about it, when you were able to release some of that tension? Can you tell us about that, your experience with that?
Sure. Yeah. So for me as a writer, a lot of it led to me writing my book. It gave me the courage, to share my story, and um, yeah, it's like a clearing, like, like energy clearing. We talk about that a lot, with mental health. But yeah, you feel, a sense of, what would I say, just like lightness, right? So like that's what you want to get to, but it's a long process in between that. You don't just like, oh, I talked about it once, now I'm okay. No, it's a process. Like, first you have to build the courage to talk about it, then you have to be comfortable to talk about it more, and then you have to find the tools, and then, and it's, yeah, it can take, you know lots of lots of sessions with people to be able to get to that point where you actually do feel
Right.
better.
Let's talk about your book because we want people to know that you have a book. We want people to know that they can get the book. So how do they find your book and what's the name of the book?
Yeah, so the book is called Speaking Up About a Mental Health Crisis. And yeah, I wrote it throughout the pandemic. I have a background in journalism, so writing for me has always been, yeah, something I love to do. And so I've always wanted to be an author as well. And so the combination of the timing of what was happening in the world a few years ago with the pandemic and um, yeah, and me wanting to do that, that's how it came together. Yeah, so the book is my speaking up. It's telling my story and encouraging others to, yeah, speak up about their mental health.
No, so is it on Amazon or where can they, do you have a website that they can go get to? Or is it on
Yeah,
Amazon? Where is it?
it is. It's on Amazon. So both in Canada and the US. And I have a website. Yeah, it's PamelaRO'Neill.com, and people can order it off there as well. Um, but I do charge a shipping fee, so it's okay for people to go to Amazon or Indigo. It's on indigo.ca and Barnes and Noble in the States as well. So there's lots of places that it can be found.
Cool, cool. Pam, is there anything else in the podcast that you wished I've asked you that I have not asked you?
Um, I think that, so to highlight my message about ending the stigma. So I would like to grow my community to help me with that because I'm just one person and I can only talk to so many people. And but yeah, it's really a call to action for others to start sharing um, their stories. And so yeah, I would like to put that out there as well that yeah, we
Do
need
you
more people.
do you have a Facebook group or a community that people can join and they can kind of share their story with you?
Yeah, so I do have a Facebook group. It's actually right now just my author name, so Pamela R. O'Neill. And yeah, so people can reach out to me there. I do have Instagram as well, and that is at Speaking Up About Mental Health. And yeah, so people can reach out there. And then yeah, through my website, you can also send me a direct message, and we can get the conversation going that way.
That's awesome. I think so. If you're having some struggles with mental health, if you're listening to this podcast, reach out to Pam, kind of share your story with her, be part of the community so that you can continue to grow the community where people can learn that they don't have to be silent, that they can be heard by someone else who's dealing with the same situation. So I think it's a great cause. I think it's something that we want to expose. And you hear about celebrities and stuff exposing it, but the common day-to-day people and what you're doing with that, Pam, is great because people have a lot of issues going on. They just don't share them. They just don't talk about them. And so if you can create the community that will allow people to talk about their issues, that's wonderful. So that's why we do this stuff. That's why we do these podcasts. So I really appreciate you coming on today. And if anybody's listening, go reach out to Pam, Pamela R. O'Neill, and give you the opportunity to share your story. Until next time, this is Jeffrey Brown from Market for Yourself. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.